Hey there and welcome back. We're diving deep today.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
It is. We're exploring an excerpt from Rex Bear.
Oh, from the Leak Project, right?
Yeah, the Leak
I've
Project.
heard that.
Well, you're going to love this one. It's all about elementals.
Elemental.
Folks. And get this,
Okay.
real-world magicians, like the Chris Angels and the David Blaines.
Yeah.
He's suggesting that maybe they're using these things.
That's wild.
I know. And,
So, like, actual magic?
well, kinda. He
Mhm.
ties it all into this whole Hermeticism thing.
Ah, Hermeticism. Yeah, that ancient wisdom, the hidden forces and all.
Right, but like for someone who doesn't spend all day thinking about Hermeticism,
Sure.
what does that even mean, tapping into hidden forces?
Okay, so basically Hermeticism says the universe has these, like,
Laws.
yeah, like rules, principles. And if you, like, crack the code,
Hmm.
you can use them to, make things happen, manifest your intentions and all that.
Okay, interesting. So where do elementals fit in?
Right. Well, Rex Bear says elementals are these,
Being.
yeah, entities, but they're created in the astral realm.
Wait, the astral realm, is that like a real place?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. It comes up in a lot of mystical traditions, but
But not like scientifically proven.
right. Some people say it's a dimension, others say it's more like a symbol, like for the subconscious.
Or like the collective unconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
So more of a belief than a fact?
Pretty much. But even if we're skeptical,
There's still something kind of cool about the whole thought forms idea, right?
definitely. The idea that your thoughts can,
Affect reality.
yeah, it's compelling.
So we're tapping into this astral realm,
Uh-huh.
creating these elementals.
Right.
And then what? Giving them jobs to do in the real world.
That's what he's saying. And he even brings up Chris Angel and David Blaine.
No way.
Yeah, like maybe they're using elementals for their illusions.
I always thought it was more like tricks.
Yeah, sleight of hand and all that.
Right. So is he saying they're faking it with elementals, or is it...
Like actual magic.
He seems to be leaning towards the magic side. He's really big on the power of belief
Mm-hmm.
and thought. He even warns about focusing on negative stuff.
Oh, like it can manifest.
Yeah, he says it can manifest in bad ways.
I've heard about positive thinking, but negative thoughts too.
That's what he's claiming. Like, if you dwell on negativity,
It creates negative energy.
and that can mess with your reality.
Okay, so like a spiritual self-fulfilling prophecy.
Maybe. I mean, we know about self-fulfilling prophecies in psychology.
Okay.
Like, if you believe something will happen.
You act in ways that make it happen.
Exactly. So maybe it's happening on a deeper level with thoughts and emotions.
Okay, so we've got Hermeticism, the astral realm, the power of thought creating elementals.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Rex Bear go from there?
Well, he actually describes creating his own elemental. He calls it Zygodex.
So Zygodex, what does it look like?
He says it can shapeshift,
Wow.
but his main gig is like doing tasks in the astral realm.
And he even compares it to like a soul, right? To Sheldon Moore's description of the soul.
Yep, that's another guest on his show, Sheldon Moore.
Okay, so he's made this Zygodex thing. It's out there shape-shifting.
Doing its thing.
And it's like a soul. This is like, whoa.
It definitely makes you think, right? Whether you take it literally or...
Metaphorically.
Yeah, it's like, what is consciousness? What can the mind really do?
No kidding. What else does he talk about?
He mentions these other things, Lare and Shamatha.
Lare and Shamatha.
Yeah, they're like energy projections or
Entities.
that can like mess with people in the real world.
That sounds even weirder than elementals.
I know. So Lare are like created from intense experiences.
Like emotions.
Right. He gave the example of watching a movie
Okay.
and like feeling really strong emotions.
So if I'm watching a scary movie and I'm terrified,
That fear could make a Lare.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's the suggestion.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, right?
It makes you think about like what we watch and listen to. Definitely.
What about Shamatha?
Oh, those are the ones that can manipulate people.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, they use pleasure, pain, fear.
Like to control us.
That's the idea.
So like, are we being influenced by Shamatha all the time?
He kind of leaves it open-ended, but it makes you wonder, right?
Kind of creepy.
Yeah, like what if our urges and stuff?
What if they're not even ours?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got elementals, Lorai, Shamatha, plus that whole thing about the Milky Way being...
Yaldabaoth,
Yeah, Yaldabaoth. The
chief archon from Gnosticism.
right, Gnosticism. What even is that?
Okay, so Gnosticism is this ancient set of like religious ideas. They were all about this secret knowledge,
Just
gnosis, for like spiritual enlightenment. And they believed in two gods.
Two.
Yeah, a good one and like a lesser one, a flawed one. And he's the one who created the material world.
That's Yaldabaoth.
In some texts, yeah. He's like the demiurge, the creator.
And was Bear saying that's the Milky Way?
It's not clear how he connects it.
But it's definitely an interesting link.
Okay, so we've got elementals and magic and self-fulfilling prophecies, and now...
The Milky Way is a god.
I know, it's a lot. How do we even start to unpack this?
I think it's important to remember that Rex Bear is...
Sharing his own view.
Yeah, his own interpretation, like his personal journey.
So we can take what resonates with us.
Exactly. And leave the rest.
What stands out to you so far?
I think the most interesting part is...
The power of human consciousness.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we believe in elementals or not.
The idea that our thoughts and feelings can, like, make stuff happen.
It's powerful.
It really makes you wonder if we're all creating our own little elementals all the time.
Maybe we are. And speaking of creation,
Yeah.
Rex Bear mentions this book that's like his guide, Initiation into Hermetics.
By Franz Bardon.
Yeah, Franz Bardon. We should talk about that.
For sure. What's it all about and how does it fit into all this?
Ooh, that's where things get really interesting.
I'm ready for it.
It's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive. Okay, so Initiation into Hermetics, this book. It's like a classic.
In Hermeticism.
Yeah, like the book for, developing magical ability.
Magic abilities, like for real.
That's what it claims. It's got all these exercises and techniques.
Like a how-to guide for magic.
Exactly. Like how to train your mind, how to harness energy, how to,
Mess with the astral realm.
Yeah. Rex Bear calls it his Jedi training manual. So.
He's serious about this stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's not just reading about it. He's actually
signing it out.
Practicing. He even talks about doing the rituals and mantras from the book.
Wait, he actually did the Zygoldex mantra on his podcast.
He did. I mean, talk about commitment, right?
That's intense. But this Bardon guy, he's not just about, like, techniques, right?
It's not just about the how. He's big on intentions, too.
Okay, so, like, your motivations matter.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Like, are you using this stuff for good? Or for evil?
He's all about using it for good, developing your character, being responsible. So it's not enough to just know how to do the magic.
Nope.
You got to be a good person, too.
That's Bardon's philosophy, like in a lot of mystical traditions.
Power and wisdom go together.
Right. You need both. It's like that Spider-Man quote.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. It's a universal truth. Doesn't matter if it's superpowers or magic or...
No, anything, really.
Right. Power without ethics is...
well, dangerous.
Exactly. Maybe that's why those evil sorcerers in stories...
they never learn the ethics part.
Maybe they skipped those chapters. But seriously, it's an important point. When you're dealing with this stuff...
Hermeticism magic.
Yeah, you got to think about the ethical side, too. The potential consequences.
Right, because it's not just about making cool stuff happen.
Nope. It's about self-discovery, about understanding the power you're wielding.
It sounds like this book, Initiation into Hermetics.
Yeah.
It's like a guide to, like, life in general.
In a way, yeah. It's not just about magic tricks. It's about...
becoming a better person?
That's a big part of it. It's about understanding yourself and the universe.
Maybe I should check it out.
It's a tough read, but worth it. It's full of...
mind-blowing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Totally changes how you see Hermeticism.
Okay, so we talked about elementals, the astral realm, initiation into Hermetics. But what about those other things, the Lorrae and Shaman?
Oh, right. Let's get back to those. Remember, Lorrae are those...
aren't you projections?
Yeah, from those intense experiences. Like feeling a strong emotion while watching a movie.
Right, like the fear example. I'm watching a horror movie. It's scared out of my mind.
And that fear could create a Lorrae in the astral realm.
Exactly. But, like, are they good or bad?
He didn't really say. Just that they can,
affect reality?
Yeah, in some way.
So they're like, I don't know, emotional echoes in another dimension.
And they ripple back to us.
That's a wild thought.
It makes you think about how powerful our emotions are. If thoughts can create thought forms, maybe emotions can too.
It's like mind ain't emotions over matter.
Right. It's not just the mind.
And we know how contagious emotions can be.
Imagine that, but like on a whole other level.
Whoa.
Makes you think, right?
Definitely. What about the shamata? Those were the creepy ones.
Yeah, the ones that control us.
Manipulate us, yeah. Using pleasure, pain, fear, all that.
Like puppets.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, remember, we're talking about Rex Bear's view.
Right, not necessarily facts.
Exactly. But even if we're skeptical, it makes you think, like, how much control do we really have?
Yeah, are we really making our own choices? Or are we being...
influenced.
Yeah, that's a big question.
Philosophers have been debating that forever. free will versus,
Destiny.
yeah, all that.
It's interesting to think about those shamata in that context.
It has a whole other layer, doesn't it?
So we have Lare, which are like...
Emotional energy.
And shamatas, which are more like...
Puppeteers.
Yeah, kind of. But did Rex Bear give any, like, real-world examples?
He didn't get into specifics, but he said we might be influenced by them.
Without even realizing it.
Uh-huh. Like those sudden urges we get, or when we feel drawn to something.
Or repelled by something.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, that time I ate a whole bag of chips, even though I wasn't hungry.
Maybe it was a shamata.
Maybe. It's kind of funny to think about.
But it also makes you wonder, like, where are these impulses coming from?
Right. It's like, who's really in charge here?
Exactly. It's all about awareness. Paying attention to those little nudges.
And asking yourself, is this really me? Or is it something else?
Exactly. It's a whole new way of looking at the world, isn't it?
It really is.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered elementals, Larai, Shamata, the Milky Way as Yaldabaoth.
A lot to unpack.
I know. Anything else we missed?
Well, there's one more important thing. Rex Bear keeps talking about becoming a real Jedi.
Yeah, I remember that. Like using these powers for good.
Right. It's about ethical hermeticism, not just seeking power, but
making a difference.
exactly. And that ties back to the responsibility thing we were talking about.
If we can create elementals, if we can influence reality with our thoughts, then we have to use that power wisely.
It's a big responsibility, but
Also an amazing opportunity.
yeah, it's like we're not just along for the ride. We can actually...
Shape our reality.
Exactly. It's a whole new way of thinking about things.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It is. So where does this leave us? What should we take away from all of this talk about elementals and all that?
I think the biggest takeaway is the potential we all have. Rex Bear's story, whether it's literal or...
Metaphorical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows how powerful our thoughts and feelings are. And if we can create elementals...
Imagine what else we can do.
Right. It's a call to be mindful, to be intentional.
To choose to use our power for good.
Exactly. It's about taking responsibility for our inner world.
Because it's connected to the outer world.
It's all connected. It's not separate.
So if we can create elementals with our minds...
What else can we do?
That's a good question. It really makes you wonder what else is out there.
Right. Like, what other mysteries are we missing?
Exactly. So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into Rex Bear's world, elementals, magic, all that, what should we, like, take away from all this?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to remember that this is Rex Bear's...
perspective.
Yeah, like, his interpretation. It's super interesting, but we gotta...
be critical.
Like, do our own research, you know?
Yeah.
Don't just take his word for it.
Right, because we've been, like, unpacking his ideas, but it's not about just believing everything he says.
Exactly. It's more about using it as a...
starting point.
Yeah, like a springboard. Hermeticism, the astral realm, creating elementals.
It's been around for a long time.
Centuries. People have been debating this stuff forever. Rex Bear gives us his take, but...
there are other viewpoints out there.
Tons. So, yeah, do your own digging, read different stuff.
Come to your own conclusions.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Engaging with the ideas.
Questioning them.
Exactly. Seeing what feels right to you.
And even if we don't, like, literally believe in elementals or that our thoughts can, like, control reality.
There's still a valuable message there.
Right. About responsibility.
For our thoughts, our emotions, our actions.
And that they can actually, like...
affect the world around us.
yeah. It's like we're not just passengers.
We're actively...
creating our reality.
Exactly.
That's huge.
It is. It's like we have so much more power.
Yeah. And, like, agency than we think.
Totally. It's not about being a victim. It's about...
being a creator.
Yeah. It's about mindfulness, intention, purpose.
That's a big shift in thinking.
It is. It's about understanding that everything's connected. Our actions, our thoughts.
Even our feelings.
They all have an impact, like ripples going out.
It's a lot of responsibility, but...
also an amazing opportunity.
yeah, it's pretty exciting when you think about it.
It really is. It's like, if Rex Bear can create Zygoldex...
what else can we do?
Right. What other abilities are we hiding? What potential are we ignoring?
It's kind of mind-blowing, but in a good way.
Definitely. It's like, what if we're way more capable than we think?
I love that.
It makes you question everything, doesn't it? Like, what if reality is...
not as fixed as we think.
Exactly. What if it's more...
flexible.
yeah, more fluid, more responsive to our,
to our energy.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe by just thinking about this stuff,
Yeah.
even if we're skeptical, maybe we'll start to see changes in our own lives.
Like what kind of changes?
I don't know, like more synchronicities, Maybe things manifesting easier.
Or just feeling more connected to everything.
Yeah, like opening up to a whole new,
Way of being.
exactly, a new
Yeah,
way of seeing the world.
I like that.
It's like even if we don't know what's on the other side of that door,
Mm,
just
yeah,
opening it can change everything.
totally. So this whole Rex Bear deep dive,
Yeah,
it's been a trip. Magic, mystery, human consciousness, like,
that's a lot.
I know. But whether we take it literally or,
See it as a metaphor.
yeah, the message is pretty clear.
Use your power wisely. Yeah,
Exactly. Be responsible. Think about the consequences.
and use it for good.
For good. Well
Huh.
said. Thanks for diving deep with us. Maybe we'll all start.
Manifesting amazing things.
Hey, you never know.
Here's to the power of possibility. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.